In this video, I'll discuss how to get burnt out. Everyone burns. Actually, this is a appropriate shirt. In this video, I'll discuss how to avoid getting burnt out. Feelings of burnout, you just know it when you're in it. When you feel like you've done all you feel like doing and it's just time to stop. Now, once you've reached that point, chances are you've been feeling burnout for a while. You just hit a wall. So here are some things that you can do to avoid that wall. Rest. It's pretty obvious. Resting helps alleviate burnout. But one of the challenging things about rest is sometimes we don't quite know how to do it. Sometimes we go on vacation and we take some work with us. We check emails, we answer emails. Sometimes that's unavoidable, but know that when you're on vacation and working a little bit, you're effectively just working. You're not really on vacation. So find those ways to decouple your rest time from your work. Find daily moments where you just completely disengage. It can be reading a book, it could be listening to music, it could frankly be staring at a wall and trying to not think about anything for 5 minutes. Those mental breaks are essential to helping you avoid burnout and develop good habits. But for those of you who feel that you need to be moving, that you need to be doing, there are a few things that you can do to move productively but not be working. Hobbies are one of those things that you can do and it fills your cup, if you will. It's something that makes you feel like a fuller human. But it's important to find your hobby. For example, one of my hobbies is painting miniatures. I paint them with reasonable levels of talent I'm okay at it. The whole point is to just do something and get better at it on a time scale that doesn't matter. As long as I feel like I'm improving or as long as I feel like I'm expressing myself, then I've accomplished the goal of my hobby, which is just to put paint to miniature. What are some hobbies that you can do? Take a moment and think about that. They can be creative hobbies like playing an instrument. If you picked up an instrument in high school and then you stopped playing it, maybe it's time to pick it back up and just fuddle around with it and just and just fiddle around with it. Because fiddling around with something or engaging in some sort of problem that isn't work, where there are no stakes, is one of the ways that you can avoid getting burnt out because you still get to express yourself through a medium, but there's no evaluation of that medium. It's just you and the thing that you're doing. Most PhD students and graduate students are stuck at their desk for long periods of time. So one of the things that you can do to help not burn out is moving. Moving doesn't necessarily mean exercise. It can include exercise. One of the things that I do to move is I am an on again, off again CrossFit person. Sometimes I'll do it for 3 or 4 days a week. Sometimes I'll do it 1 day a week. But generally speaking, I try to get into the gym and just move and have my body do something else that is mindless in the sense of I'm not actively thinking through a problem, but I'm moving my body and I'm solving a different problem, which is effectively just throwing weight around. And that's just another way to avoid burnout for me. But it doesn't have to be explosive. You can just walk. Sometimes finding a walking path that's stable and that is something that's predictable allows you to be out in the world and to move, but to not necessarily feel like you're exerting too much effort, because as soon as it starts feeling too much like work, then it might actually contribute to burnout as opposed to helping alleviate burnout. So find your walking path. Find your walking buddy if you want to walk with someone, or maybe you're walking a pet. Maybe you want to try walking a cat for a while. There are lots of different ways that you can move that don't feel like exercise. It ends up being exercise, so good for you, but it's still something that you can do and not necessarily feel like you're working too hard. It gives you something else to do other than ruminate about the work that you think you should be doing when chances are you've done enough. It's important for you to decouple your identity, your sense of self, from your work. Now, this isn't to say that your career and who you are as a person aren't intertwined. I'm a professor. It is who I am. I'm reasonably good at it, but it doesn't define me. I'm a lot of things. We're all multidimensional. But the trouble is when one of those dimensions is so large and so overbearing that everything you feel that you are is somehow tied to that. Sometimes we can get overly focused and myopically focused on that work vis-a-vis identity. The work is who I am. Therefore, if the work doesn't go well, then there's something wrong with me. Or if I'm not working all of the time, then I'm not expressing myself and doing what I should be doing. And that is not a sustainable strategy because, again, we're all multidimensional people. We can work sometimes, but we should be playing sometimes. So that way you can feel that you're productive, but you're not forcing it and you're not burning the candle at both ends, if you will. Sometimes we need a little bit of help doing that, though. That's why I think it's important to have non-work friends or non-academic friends or friends that are in the hobbies that we like, but not necessarily attached to the work that we do. If you're around people that are in your field or that are studying the things that you're studying, chances are work's going to come up. So rather than engage with a person about not work, you end up engaging about work. And then you can get into conversations that, again, lead to more stress, lead to more feelings of burnout, lead to you feeling like maybe you haven't done enough or you've done too much. And this can reinforce itself in ways that I feel are unhealthy. So find other friends. I don't know how many you have, but more won't hurt you. So find friends that do your hobby. Find friends that you can exercise with. Find friends that, are only sometimes friends. Like maybe you really only talk to them when you're doing the thing together. But find other relationships with other people so that you're not constantly feeling as though you're working even though you're not working. You'll find that once you have these friendships, you'll see other perspectives. Sometimes problems that you feel are very big are actually quite small in comparison to what other folks are dealing with. Fundamentally, though, one of the things that's very important when it comes to avoiding feelings of burnout is to find ways to be alone and not think about or do work. This is one of the hardest things that you can learn as a graduate student, as an early career scholar, frankly, as anyone in their professional life, is to be alone and to not feel like you have to do work, not feel guilty if you're not writing that next paper, reading that next article. And you'll find once you are able to be alone in a hobby, in another activity, in something that is engaging but not work, a couple of things will happen. You'll realize and believe that you are a multidimensional person that has lots of different interests and are giving them the attention they deserve. Not you have this idea of a hobby or you read about a hobby that you're interested in, but you're actually doing it. If you are interested in a hobby, go out and do the thing. Don't just consume videos or consume literature about the hobby. Instead, go do it. Go run, go paint, go make music. Because frankly, you shouldn't be doing anything except trying to live a fully fulfilled life. Anything other than that is meant to serve that ultimate end. So if you find that the work that you're doing is actually detracting from that, then take a moment, take a beat to evaluate. Why is that? Maybe you need a few of these other things in place to balance out your life. Maybe you need to cut back actually on some of the work you're doing. Maybe you need to say no to things that you feel like you can't say no to. You'll find that you can always say no. There are always consequences. And those consequences are different depending on who you are. But the ultimate consequence of saying yes all the time is burning out and not living a fulfilled life or a life that brings you happiness. So what do you think? What are your hobbies? What do you do to unwind, to detach, to otherwise engage in something that's not work? Share it.